Jurgen was brilliant. Had a great relationship with him. Great man off the field as well. Supported our charity so much. Amazing manager. But yeah, I always felt like he most of the time was open, and even if you didn't feel like in the conversation he gave you stuff back, I felt like he thought about it afterwards.
Okay.
And even if he didn't tell you that, you maybe see with how he did things after or something like that. I felt like he was good at taking it on board, and he's the leader. He makes the decision. But if you've maybe put something in his head and it maybe helped, then I think he was pretty good at listening to things like that, and I've seen him change a lot in the time with her.
And he used that lovely phrase about turning doubters into believers. Was there a moment for you when you went from knowing this guy off the television and following what he'd done in German football to really thinking this is a guy I want to follow because I think he's taken us somewhere?
I think it just being part of the journey was like you're seeing it happen in front of your eyes. The first year where he's inherited a team, got to 2 finals and lost them, how he reacted to that. And then, fighting, changing the team bit by bit, the players he wanted and the training. And then the big moments of getting into Europe late in the season, getting to a Champions League final, it not happening, and getting 97 points. And the big one for me is, I think, losing in the Champions League final, coming back the next year, getting 97 points and not winning a league title is obviously obscene. And then having a Champions League final after that, I think that's the big point there, that if we don't win that Champions League final, would that team have been able to get over Champions League, lost 97 points, not winning the league, losing another Champions League? So I think that final was really big, but there was never a moment really where I doubted us going into that final. And obviously the semi-final against Barcelona was a big moment where, we're losing and he comes in and says, no team in the world really has a chance to overturn this, but it's you and we do. And I think that gave us the belief then that we could, and the way the night happened, and obviously winning the semi-final like that, I think that took us on to then go and win the final.
I like the fact that you said you're going to come in and control the narrative of nobody thinks we can come back from this. But I remember the footage of you getting stuck into Messi from early on. Like, what was it that was going on there that gave you that belief rather than just false optimism?
Yeah, I think for me, I was emotional after that game as well, because it was, like I said, the thought and fear of coming out empty-handed again of what a good team were. Because, the first game we didn't play bad, lost 3-0. We went to Newcastle, I think, on the Saturday and scored late to win the game, which kept us in the title hunt. Then City were drawing, and then Vinny Kompany sliced one in the top bin, like last minute, and that was night before. And I've seen Vinny do that millions of times, and it ended up in the hedge at Carrington when I was at City. So, amazing goal, and obviously an absolute balloon burster for us. So we've gone in the next day, and all those little things, and the manager said, does anyone want to say anything about last night? No, right. So that was put to bed straight away with one comment. Anyone want to say about last night? No, right, done. Then we build up for the game.
A great bit of management, that actually, isn't it?
It was morning of the game. We trained, then we went to the hotel. Then before the game, it was, I don't think anyone else has a chance, but because it's you, you do. So straight away, it's like, this guy believes in us, Jesus. And there was just a calmness about the game. I remember the crowd setting the tempo, like Suarez, amazing play for Liverpool. Fans love him. Standing over the kickoff, whistles, boos straight away. And it's like, we might have loved you in the past, but not tonight, mate. You're not one of us tonight. And set the sort of the tone, get a corner first minute, roll was as if we'd scored, and just picked it off first goal, but there was never a desperation. I think I gave Messi a bit the first game in the new camp, which, best players in the world, you can't let him have it all their own way. He's unbelievable, what a player, best I've played against, like so much respect for him, but I don't think he cares for me too much, but you can't let the best have it their own way sometimes. And you try and put him out of his stride. Robbo did it at the start of the next game. I think there was a moment where he was on the floor, ruffled his hair, and you ride that wave of Anfield, and you can't, you show respect, but you have to not make everything their own way. And this is a Barcelona team with experienced players who've won some serious titles you're talking about. So it's not an easy feat. So everything you can do to try and make it uncomfortable for them, you do. And, you know, we got the first goal and then went in at half time and then we got the other goals. And it was never a desperation. It was just bit by bit and it grew and grew. Robbo went off at half time injured. So I've gone to left back, which, you know, with Messi on the field, that's probably not the best position to be in either. So that was something else. But, you know, just the team, how we managed to do it. And then, you know, my memory at the end, I think Hendo was struggling. We were keeping it in the corner at the end and just hanging on, and whistle went and Hendo slides towards the crowd and forgot he'd knackered his knee in the game, and his knee nearly lost his knee in the turf. You're just like, what am I thinking? But it was emotional because it felt like I said to you, if we hadn't have come out with anything that year, that team would have struggled to bounce back from that. And I think the fact we still had that chance to achieve something that year was massive.
Did it feel like a band of brothers at Liverpool?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's important for any successful team, because in those moments where, you know, you need to win 4-0 or you get a man sent off and you're digging deep or you're hanging on for a win, you know each other, you're so close, you know that you're going to go that extra yard for each other. You're going to put your head into that challenge for each other. You want to go that extra yard for your mate because you don't want to let him down.
Yep.
And I think that massively, it has to help, doesn't it? If you feel so close to the people you're on the pitch with, as opposed to, you know, just your randomer. I'm desperate to help him out. I'm going to run that 20 yards because I know he's getting toasted by the winger, which was normally me. I want someone to come and help me, do you know what I mean? And help me out. And I think those relationships have to help you.
What is the standout memory of your time playing for Liverpool? When you think back to those days, where do you go?
I think the Barcelona game's an obvious one. And Dortmund, I think those Anfield European nights on the field. I'd say they're the moments. Off the field, I think just the people at the club. I had great relationships with the players and the staff, and probably the parades. I think the parades, when you've achieved what you wanted to and win a trophy, we're lucky to have a couple, and you see people hanging off scaffolding, people hanging off lampposts, like just seas of people in the city centre. I mean, we had one with Calvin Harris on the bus and going down the main street in Liverpool and people everywhere and music blaring. It was like, they're the moments where you can enjoy what you've achieved together, and, you know, we've achieved this, and you see what it means to the fans of their club, because ultimately it's their team, you know, their club. They were there long before I was there and they'll be there long after me. I'm renting a shirt there. Can I represent them and add to my aim when I got there was, can we add to this amazing history of the club? And, you know, the league title was a big one because it had been so long since I'd won the league title. But for me, that was always the one. I want to change that wall in the training ground where you walk in and it has the number under each trophy they'd won. I was desperate to change that, and every time I did that was amazing.